Right, hello. This is going to take you through adding students. Okay, so I'm just going to follow the notes on student late V5. It will be V6 or whatever after you get to it. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I've got my database and my program here, and at the moment when you run it, it's just simply displays it there. So I'm going to add a new button to create open a new form. Okay, so that's the first thing, is going to create a new form. So it says on there, create a new form called FRM student. So I'll do that. So to create that, I can just go to project, add Windows form, and give it a name, FRM. Now, what did I call it? FRM underscore FRM student. And there we go, there's the form now created. Now I need a button on form 1 to open that. So I'm going to go to form 1, add a button, go to toolbox, add a button there. And I'm just going to, now I could change the properties on there. Wanted to, so let's say the text is now going to be open student. And I should give it a proper name as well, BTN open student. So BTN should probably be capital, but BTN open student. Nice. Okay, so now if I double click on the form, I can just now do FRM student. It's going to do it for me, right? Okay, equals new FRM student, and I don't need any of that nonsense it's got there. Right, okay, so that's going to create the, if I run that now, it should open up my form student. No, it doesn't. Right, have I got it? Oh, right, yeah, fair enough. FRM student lowercase. Oh, that's just bad, isn't it? What do I just call that? FS form student. And then I go FS dot show dialog. Now, if you do show dialog, what that will do, it won't be able to click behind it. You have to close it in order to get behind the other form. So let's try that again now. I've probably gone, there we go, so it opens up that form. Right, okay, so there we go. Right, so I did it slightly differently there. I went for lowercase f there. I should have done that. Right, okay, so now we're going to add these fields onto the form. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to cheat slightly, save time. I'm going to copy those over from one I've already got. And where is it? There it is there. So I'm just going to copy these. So first name, last name, Dob, and the button as well. Right, so yeah, student late. So let's stop that running, and then add that to my FRM student, which should be capital F, but I didn't do that. Right, okay, so there we go. There's our. Let's see if that follows that. So I've got two labels, so two text boxes, and a date time picker, and that. Now, if I look at the names, they should all be named the correct thing. So let's do properties there. And you can see that's called txt first name, and so forth. Okay, so I'm assuming that I've got all those right. So if I scroll down there, yeah, txt first name and surname, so forth. Right, okay, so the first thing I want to do on my form is make an instance of the student repository. So I'm going to go into here, view, right click, view code, and then before the constructor, I'm just going to go, right, okay, so student repository. So I could have copied that, student repository, and what am I calling it? I've just got to keep it to the same. I'm going to call it student repository, lowercase. Okay, so there's the object. there's the class, there's the object. Now in the constructor here, I'm now going to do student repository equals new student repository. Okay, so that's now created an object. So I've done that bit. Okay, so now I'm going to insert the record. So I'm going to create a method, add student. Now don't forget an event method, add student. So make sure that you do on the form, you double click on the button to create the event method. Don't just copy and paste the code, otherwise you will have problems. Now that's not great, is it? Because I did that lowercase, really should be uppercase there. So add student would be uppercase, add student would be better. Right, so I'm going to just copy that code there and I'll explain what's going on. Right, so let's just go add student. Oops. On the wrong one. Let's go back to here. Right. So in the student repository, so I've just done that in the wrong place. I'm an idiot. So that should be on my. This is in the student repository. Okay, so I'm in my student repository, and I'm just going to add that in there. Okay, so after the existing function I've already got there, which is the one to display, and let's put a new line. Right, hopefully that's got any errors, but no, I didn't do it in the class, so I need to undo that. Right, so I need to do it in between those two, and then try again. Right, I've now got that. Right, okay. So what do we have here? So we've got our insert into statement. Now, how would have I written that? Well, I would have written that now using Server Explorer. I could have got it to written it for me. So let me just show you how to do that. So I'm just going to, I'll just remove that connection and then I'll add it again. Okay, now what? I'll delete that. Okay, well, I'll leave that for now because I'm having problems with it. Right, so what I can do is right click on table, new query. I'm going to go student, that's what we're adding, click close. I'll just have, I won't have student ID there because that's auto number. And you see it's creating the SQL for me here, which is what we want. There's no other fields. So that's just your select from. And if I just right click execute SQL, it's just going to return me back everybody from there. Now, what I want to do is change the type. So I want to say it's insert values. So then if I did that, I get the insert into there. So I can put that all on one line if I want to. So what I get though, is importantly, is I don't get any errors in terms of field names or anything like that. Okay, so now what I've got now is the values. Yeah, the values, I just put question marks in between each of those. Okay, so if I come on, question mark, question mark, come on, question mark. Okay, and then that is what I could just copy over, or I could just put the question marks in. Right. Okay, so that is the what we got there. So let me on the wrong one. Right. So let's just close that down. Right. So that would be my SQL. So that's the SQL. Then I have my connection as always. Then I have my command. Now the command is going to be based upon my SQL that I created and the connection. So and then we just simply add the parameters. So first name, last name, student, job. So these are the names that match up here, just with @ signs in front, and then these are the values that we're getting: student dot first name, student dot last name, and that's what we're sending that in. Okay, as our object. So we're sending in a student object to be added. Okay, then we can open the connection, execute the query, and jobs are good. Okay, now we haven't actually called that yet, so we're going to now go back to that's just in the student repository. So now if I go back to my form now, so this is back on the form student. So let's go back to that. So FRM student, double click on the form, and that's the code we're going to add to that. Now I'm just going to copy that. So I'm just going to go right. Now we can show you a different way of doing this as well. So, okay, so I've got student repository dot add student. So that's the method I just created equals new student. And then we just simply say that. Now what we'll do is just run it just to make sure it actually works. So let's open student, and I'm just going to say first name Trevor and Peters, and I'll do. So click add student. Now it's not going to, nothing happened there. It didn't update that, but if we close that down and update it, run it again, it should show we've now got Trevor Peters. You can see I could have opened the database as well, so we know that that's worked. I'll just quickly show you another way of doing that. So let's just comment that out for now, and then we could just do right. So I could just say so I could do student, no, student equals new student. Now I'm going to ignore all of this. Get out of it. Okay, equals new student. Okay, and then I would just simply go right. So student dot first name. Yep, it's going to do that for me. Right, and then that is one way of doing it. Now this is, in some respects, is quite a good idea. So I've now said student equals that, and then all I've got to do now is now call student repository. So student repository dot add student. Okay, now you might well find that easy to understand. So we got student object, we fill it up with data, and then we just simply call student repository dot add student. It's slightly more code than that. The nice thing about this method, though, if it does crash because let's say that field name or whatever doesn't exist, then you'll easily see where the error is. I'll just quickly just make sure that still works. Let's try it again. So I'm going to go Jeff Red Road, whatever. No. Okay, there we go. That worked as well. Same thing. Just double check. Okay, there's Jeff Road. Okay, there we go. That's how you can add records. Okay, thank you.